I was attracted to older men because I felt like I wanted a
Father
daddy,
figure.
a father
Mhm.
figure. I had to heal that.
Yeah.
Because
See, I think that happens with a lot of gay men. We're so used to being demonized that we haven't taken the time to feel and heal ourselves. So we don't even know that that we need to be on the journey.
how many of us are lonely today because we're still introducing to people to a version of ourselves that doesn't even exist anymore? I've dealt with this on this podcast. For some reason, I still can't bring myself sometimes to say that I'm a podcaster or a YouTuber or I'm somebody's boyfriend for the sake of judgment. At my big age, I still perform a mask or hide to survive. Uncle Charlie, when did you stop performing?
96.
96.
Yeah, 30 years.
That was 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
What prompted you ending the performance, getting off the stage?
When I got
Off
to
that
New York, New York was expansive enough to let me be me. And so therefore it's my journey started at Howard, but then I went back in the closet when I moved to Ohio, when I moved to Texas, came back to Atlanta, and then when I went to Boston, and then I came back to Atlanta, and then I went to New York. So my journey was, I was,
You
city
was all
hopping.
over the place.
Yeah, I was jobbing. So I was going for the job. And then when I got
That
to New
sounds like
York,
an Elin Harris novel.
well, there's a story to this. I used to date Richard, which was Elan's best friend. And my best friend, Tim Douglas, God rest his soul, God bless Richard's soul, and God bless Elan's soul. Elan used to date Richard. Elan. Tim and Elan used to date, and me and Richard used to date. Me and Tim was at Howard together. And Richard let Elin Harris into his house to write his novel, Invisible Life.
The first one.
The first one. So 35 years later, we go from Invisible Life to No Apologies, Love the Way You Live in 35 years. That's the course of how we have moved in the gay
Rolando
community.
says, "What? Excuse me?"
Yes, that's the story.
Well, I mean, I don't have any personal connection, but Elin Harris was born in Flint, Michigan, just like I was. So
yes,
that's all.
Elin was a cheerleader at University of Arkansas, and he was in love. His Invisible Life was about the football player for the football team, and
Yes.
that is why he wrote the book Invisible
Zurich
Life.
Robinson.
Yes,
I've
these are my people.
I've read the whole books. Let me tell you
yeah.
my story about Invisible Life. Okay, so when I was younger, granted enough, these books were written long before my day.
Mhm.
And so I hated reading.
Okay.
Hated reading.
Mhm.
So the fact that I, talk about books
Now,
for a living and
Yes.
is full circle.
Mhm.
But the first book that I picked up that really resonated with me, I'm 14 years old. We on a road trip to go from Michigan to Georgia to see my mom's side of the family.
Mhm.
And I'm sitting in the back of the car reading for the first time ever. So my mom looks back and she says, "What the hell are you doing?"
Right.
I'm reading Invisible Life.
Get out.
And she was like, "Whoa."
Who gave you that book?
She
How
owned
did-
it. It was just on a shelf. So I just,
and you just picked it
and
up?
I just picked it up. And of all the books that we had in the house, we had encyclopedia.
Right.
You remember the encyclopedia?
Yeah, I slept with an encyclopedia.
And all the things. And I just was gravitated toward that book. I
Right.
didn't know what was in it. I didn't know what it was about. I got 3 chapters in, and my mama gave me a whooping on the way to Georgia because I was reading that book.
No.
So now I'm really reading it. I had snuck and read that book
Oh,
from cover to
yeah.
cover,
Oh,
14
yeah.
years old.
Yeah.
In the height of my puberty.
Yeah.
Baby, what I tell you,
But see, I laughed about that the other day when I found out and I really put it together. I was like, 35 years later, that of the 4 of us, I'm the only one living. And I saw everybody's journey. Richard let Elin move in because he was working at IBM. He said, I want to write. I want to be a writer. And he started writing the book. And so when I would go out to Mitchellville and be out there, Elin would be there writing and be cooped up, trying to get that novel.
the unfortunate part about the story is Elin Harris said his book has come up at least every week on this show.
Really?
One of his books, Just As I Am, Invisible Life, and This Too Shall Pass.
Right.
The whole, I would say, discography.
Yeah.
His library, whatever it is,
Yeah.
but has come up at least some point. Put that comment up there, Reagan. It says, Do you know who the real life person, the character Yancey, is based on?
Yes.
Can you tell us?
No,
I really wish you
that's a
could.
secret. But
Do you know who Zurich
we'll talk about
Robinson?
that off.
You
We'll
know
talk
who
about.
Zurich
We'll
Robinson
talk
is
about
based
that
on?
off the tape. We'll talk about that off camera. Who is that? What they say?
Rolando says, "OMG, Jay, what the fuck? I'm so sorry. My mom bought those books for me. I was a freshman in high school. She
Oh,
read them all herself too. My mother read the
well,
books herself
see,
too.
it was because y'all have to understand, audience. Back then, nobody was talking about gay anything, and they definitely wasn't talking about black men being gay because they always used to say that was a white boy thing.
Mhm.
See, and it was so, if you were gay, you were praying the gay away. Like I said, all of that was happening back then. So to read about Invisible Life, I mean, to talk about DL men, that was like the wake up call for all the black women in the community. So there's a story here also. When I got to DC, I met Rochelle Reed. Rochelle became my mother, de facto mother. Because
Mhm.
back then we used to believe in that. We used to have mothers and all of that. And this
Yes.
wasn't associated with the ballroom. It was just like basically you had someone who was your mentor who was telling you about life. So he was like, he was like, let me tell you something. Let me show you something. So he took me up to the up 16th Street, if you know, in DC. It was called the Gold Coast back then. And we went to a party, and it was all these professional black gay men. And I walked in, and I was like, these people are gay? Because you remember, this is 1985. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. And then he said, okay, now we're going to go to tracks. And I'm going to show you tracks and the kids in
I
tracks.
feel like every city had a tracks back in
Oh,
the day.
but that was only one tracks, and it was DC original tracks on a Sunday. Oh my God, Memorial Day weekend in DC before AIDS and HIV. It was the place to be. So we went to tracks, and he said, "Okay, you could either be a kid that want to just dance in the clubs and hang out in the club." I said, "I prefer to be a professional gay man."
Uh-huh.
And that was the trajectory of my life. And so my 4 years at Howard, I always liked it older men anyway, so I was always trying to date older men, and a lot of them lived out in
Me
Maryland at
too.
the time and stuff. So yeah, because I had older siblings, so an older spirit was okay with me.
I for a long time I was attracted to older men, not because I had older siblings. 'Cause
Right.
I'm the second. I'm the
Mhm.
middle of three, so older sister, younger brother.
Right.
But I was attracted to older men because I felt like I needed I wanted a
Father figure.
daddy, a father
Mhm.
figure. I had to heal that
Yeah, yeah.
because
See, I think that happens with a lot of gay men because sometimes I think you have an estranged relationship with your father and it's not as close that you want. So the emotional support is not there.
yeah.
So then what you do, you turn to a man who's older and you want them to be, because you know you're in a safe space. And so you want them to kind of lead you away along the way and show you. So today, I find so many younger men coming after me. It's crazy.
I don't think it's that crazy.
I mean, it's not crazy that, I wouldn't want, I just would, what am I going to do with somebody 30 years younger than me?
Okay.
I mean, really, seriously. I mean,
Oh, okay.
audience, help me out there. Y'all tell me
Okay,
what
this is a perfect segue because I will tell you, I got my book is all marked up and I got
Okay.
notes in it. Okay,
Okay, let's
you
go.
said on page 124, you said midlife,
Yes.
if you let it, is a season of self reclamation.
Mm-hmm.
The person you are becoming deserves relationships that reflect that evolution. But first, you have to get honest about who you are now, not who you were in your 20s, not who you had to be in your 30s just to survive. Who you are right now. That clarity becomes the compass for who gets access moving forward. So many of us put our 20s and 30s in survival mode, just trying to get the career,
Yep.
the body, the man. And our our friend circles took that journey with us. How do we tell our inner circle that the survival Charlie is dead and they have to get to know the thriving Charlie from scratch?
Ooh, good question. Well, everybody, I always say, suffered in silence. So we don't really know some of the things that we're doing. But when you are on your journey and you know that you're on your journey, but your friends are trying to hold you back and say, hey, let's go to the club. You like, I ain't got time to go to the club.
Yes.
Let's go to Bulldogs. I ain't got time to go to Bulldogs. Let's go to Mix or whatever is hidden. I don't have time for that. And you just have to know when to cut people off. But this takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. You just can't read a chapter in the book and then all of a sudden just start doing it. It really comes with time and place and space and where you are. And when you realize you're old. And just like, I'm tired of that.
When you realize you old.
Yeah, you be like, you know what, I'm old. I can't be in the club anymore. You know, I'm 45 years old. I'm 50 years old. What am I doing in the club? This doesn't serve me, you know.
Okay.
And you can go to the club, have a drink, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that the club is a no. But today, when you are really trying to be on your journey, you know when you're on your journey. You start seeing things differently. You start moving differently. When people call you up, you know, and you used to be excited, but you're not excited anymore. It's your body is starting to speak to you. That old you, you're like, let's cast that away. I'm moving in this direction. And that's okay. And you're going to do it, and it just happens innately. But this is when you're doing the work. You have to want to do the work.
Because that's what I was going to ask. Because I will tell you, I've interviewed the people on the street. I've had the people in this chair. I've talked to the people. And sometimes I wonder, do we realize that we are on a journey? Because it feels like a large part of queer culture is focused on trying to stay in a certain chapter. Well, stay young, stay fit, stay this, stay that.
But that's the problem, because in our culture, we're so used to being demonized that we haven't taken the time to feel and heal ourselves. So we don't even know that we need to be on the journey, because we don't. I'm fortunate, just like I said, when Carl Touchstone said to me, "You're angry," and then oh, really? And then I took that to heart, and I started doing the work to get myself to be in a joyous place. Yeah, because I would pop off like this in a minute.
I can see that. I can see that energy.
You see it.
I see it. But I see it. It's been put to bed. But I see it.
It's been put to bed. But I will cut you. I will cut you. But the bottom line is, no. We do so much when we shrunk ourselves so much, not trying to be shown in the light of everybody, that we have just not given ourselves 100% to the world. And so we don't even realize what we're doing. And then when you get to that point, you're like, you know what? I need to change my behavior. My attitude needs to change.